Hello, everyone. Ms. Mazzola back for another chapter of Steg-o-normous. We are on chapter 5, almost halfway through our book. In the last chapter, if we think back, they took a field trip to Rock Park with the Groods, and they wondered how to get Rock Park a little more popular. It was losing business. And when Una got home, she realized that Stacy Steg was much bigger, wondering if that potion is not working right. All right, time for chapter 5. Chapter 5, Steg-o-normous. That night while I slept, a big rock dropped on my chest. Ouch! Ugh! Arrgh. I shifted back and forth, but the weight didn't budge. Was I dreaming? It wasn't rock slide season yet, but this rock felt all too real. Help! I cracked open one eye. That's when I realized this was no rock, but a head. Help! I'm being pressed into an insta-fossil! Stacy's heavy head, which had grown 5 times bigger in the night. Stacy, wake up! You're crushing my lungs and my windpipe! I gasped. Stacy opened her eyes, lifted her chin, and good morning. And then she licked me. Ew! Stacy's sleep breath smelled awful, and her tongue left me feeling like I'd been attacked by a lily pad. Look at me! Called Bonk. I sat up to see my brother standing on tippy top of Stacy's back, with 1 foot on each of her top spine plates. Cool view from up here. He pointed to the cave's ceiling. We better tell Mom and Dad. We've got bats. Look like little Yodas. What in thunderbolts happened last night? I swung from my bed to the floor. Urgh. I felt like I was the one who got shrunk. I did not even come up to Stacy's underbelly. Stace grew, said Bonk. I stared up at my Steg. Stace, you are humongous. Gigantosaurus, said Bonk. Steg-o-normous. Strange noises were sounding from the way back of the cave. That's Dad, I told Steg. He might be trapped under your tail. Stacy moved slightly to one side. Crash! Her tail toppled over the dining slab. Luckily, in the next minute, Dad appeared dazed and scratching. I thought a tree had fallen on me, he said. You kids okay? Before we could answer, the ground rumbled and shook. Oh no! Earthquake! Good morning! I can hear Stacy Steg Oodlethunks' stomach growling. Now Mom appeared, inching from around Stacy's other side. What an amazing growth spurt! What a huge, healthy Steg! Kids, hurry up and get this dinosaur her breakfast. Then Stacy needs to move to brute dairy pronto. Dad's eyes went misty. Babies grow up and leave home before you know it. As disappointed as I was that Stacy hadn't shrunk, at least Bruce wasn't here to gloat about her moving to his dairy. Hang on, Stace. Stacy's stomach rumbled like an earthquake again. I hurried out to find some tasty morning pricker cones. By the time I returned, Stacy had shifted herself around so that her head poked out of the front of our cave, while her gargantuan body was packed up inside. Eek! You grew even more since I've been outside. I spread out breakfast in front of her. Eat up, although it'll only make you bigger. In one swallow, Stacy had finished everything. Then she licked her nose and looked at me. Stacy's still hungry, I told Bonk. I'm going outside to forage more food. This could take a while. Then let me help, said Bonk. I'll bring the Valley Market basket. Together we hunted West Woggle. Stacy loves these, I pointed to a horsetail plant. Want to take the whole thing? Suggested Bonk. Good idea, little bro. Together we gripped and uprooted the entire plant. Now that's a breakfast, said Bonk a little later as we plonked it in front of Stacy. This time, it took Stacy 3 gulps to finish her meal. And she's still hungry, I said. Coax her outside to do her business before you go to school, okay? Said Mom. Mom's request was easier said than done. Come on, Stace, I clapped my hands and whistles. Come enjoy some fresh air. Stacy rolled her eyes. She swayed from side to side. She didn't budge. Kids, you better get going. Dad handed us our lunch sacks, plus another sack of roasted oats, so that we could eat our breakfast along the way. And I won't take Stace to Brutes till you get home from school. We can all settle her in together. My heart sank, but I nodded. Meantime, guide her into the yard, said Dad. Her foot is blocking my whole kitchen area. No problem, I said doubtfully. Bonk, help me push. Sure, said Bonk. We got behind Stacy. We pushed from the rear. We got in front of Stacy and we tugged from the front. Stacy didn't make her happy oomp oomp noise. She heaved, she shoved, she shifted her shoulders. Her blunt front toes pawed at the dirt. Uh-oh, said Bonk, who was thinking the same thing I was. Stacy, I whispered close in her ear, can you get out? When Stacy looked at me with her sad, steggy eyes, I knew the answer. Bad news, Bonk, I told him. Stacy is stuck.